This is a fish called a whip-tailed stingray. The name comes from its whip-like tail with a venomous sting near its base. They fly in the water in the same way as birds do in the air. They are also called estuary stingrays because their main habitat are mangroves like this one. This gentleman here is Mr. Robert. Here in my fishing village, where everybody has a nickname, he's called Stingray Robert, but he's one of the few fishermen specialized in catching stingrays. He just arrived from the place where he left his stingray net for the night, expecting to get something to sell to his clients, who mostly are restaurant owners nearby our village. His companion Jane helps him to unload his catch of the previous night. To catch them, he uses a stingray net, a vertical panel of netting that hangs from a line with styrofoam floaters. Rocks weight the line along the bottom of the panel. The size of the mesh is large enough to allow small fish to go through it, but not stingrays, which get their flat bodies entangled in the mesh. This one has a netting with a shorter mesh to catch smaller fish. Stingray Robert is tough enough to live full time in the mangrove. It may seem an idyllical life during the day, but just after sunset, bloodthirsty, almost microscopic mosquitoes gather in clouds by the millions. They just eat you alive. When a mosquito bites, our bodies usually respond to its saliva by releasing antibodies that create a small itchy bruise. But over time, it develops a tolerance and stops reacting by not recognizing the mosquito saliva as a foreign invader any longer. After living for many years in the mangrove, Stingray Robert's body adapted to his tough environment. He's an easy laugh.
Tem medo?
That's the way to get to Stingray Roberts' house, a wooden bridge gliding a couple of feet above the mangrove, full of crabs. We cannot see them as they quickly flee into their holes at a slight disruption. When the weather storms and lightning cracks into thunder, They leave the mangrove scared and disoriented to roam about the village and are easily caught and kept in enclosures like this one for regular consumption. Here we approach Robert's compound, which is close to a fishing boat graveyard. I come here very often because it's a quiet and magical place. The majestic mangrove extends for miles inshore. The mangrove waters are rich in organic sediments, attracting many types of marine life. Small and big fish come here from the Atlantic coast nearby, which is sprinkled with numerous sandbanks and coral reefs. Robert's compound neighbors a fishing boat cemetery where the hulls of scrapped fishing boats have been abandoned by the fishermen to decay and disintegrate. It brings me a Leonard Cohen song line through the graves the wind is blowing. This is Robert's house terrace, washed day and night by the sea water. Stingray Robert lives side by side with another type of crab, much different from those of the mangrove behind his house. These are sand beach crabs. They live in holes close to the breaking waves as they eat anything dead brought to them by the ocean. Fishermen call them flower Marias. I don't know why. Maybe because the sand beach looks like flour? This one brought her meal to her front yard for a more comfortable consumption. This is Robert's house backyard with the mangrove just behind it. This bridge leads to other houses further inside the mangrove. Couple of coconut trees at Robert's backyard died. Here's how coconut trees are born. It's really a dream-like kind of place where some people live in strange boat houses like this one. A new species of stingray has entangled herself in Robert's stingray net. It's maybe the most beautiful one of about 40 types of stingrays, the spotted stingrays, and sometimes called the eagle stingray because her head looks much like the head of an eagle. The Tupi people, pre-Columbian natives who lived in this area when, unfortunately, the first Europeans arrived, called it the Nari Nari. It seems to me so curious that they would call it that way because the word "nari" is also the Latin word for nose. The repetition "nari nari" would suggest a big nose. Some people say that just before we die, our whole life flashes like a dream in our minds. The Nari Nari is still trying to breathe, but knows somehow that she's dying.
Já que a chanete, tem uma lapada aí. Grande.
Deve estar aqui na esquina.
É, mas deixa eu ver como é que tá o cara.